Feels like a feel-good Friday, feels like it should. Hello Facebook, hello YouTube. I hope everybody is having a really good end to the week. Bit grey down here in the West Country, but it's not raining, so thankful for small mercies. Thank you very much. This is an Aspiga dress, my lovely friend Lucy, so it's a fab female founder brand. Fashion Friday. Not doing very much fashion today, but I thought I'd give her a little mention. She's given us a Liz Loves code, by the way. You get free P&P on Aspiga if you use Liz Loves in capitals in the checkout box. And I love this. I got this last summer. Wear it a lot, actually. It's just the sort of easy wrap dress. I think she calls this a leopard print. But it's, I thought it was quite kind of rosy, actually, quite kind of petally, which I thought was good because I've got a little bit of a rose theme going on today, and I'm going to be joined in a moment by Emma Bridgewater, which I'm super excited about. But this is one of her beautiful mugs with the roses on. Isn't that lovely? I've got so many of her mugs, actually. I was just pulling out some of the ones I thought I'd share with you before I go live with her. So this, I think, is probably what she's best known for at the beginning, the polka dots. And that's a happy birthday mug that gets given obviously to anybody who's near a birthday, so that will be me right now. Oh, excuse me. Then I've got a whole set of these, actually. This is called Toast and Marmalade. I love these. I've got a set of 12. I was given those, I think I was given them as an engagement present, actually, but they've really stood the test of time, so that must be, well over 20 years old. So I don't know when she started doing that. We'll have to find out. This one was my little boy's. Cars, tractors, trucks. Isn't that great? She has given us a 15% discount, by the way. Super special. Don't often get that on Emma Bridgewater. So you can use your Liz Loves if you want on her website. And then this one, I love all her birds and flowers. And this one is just really cheery. So yeah, there we go. So let's see whether we can patch in with Emma. I'm going to just check on my Google document here. Yes, if you want to use the code, by the way, it's 15% off, one use per customer. Okay, so have a good look at her website. Make a list of everything that you might like, because you can use it once, okay? And that's just on the full price items, but it's a really good saving. Okay, so Liz Loves, all in capital letters. Now, Facebook, I apologise, you won't be able to see Emma, but you will be able to hear her, fingers crossed. Big hi to Martha, is it Martha who's manning Facebook today? Thank you very much for popping all our links. Those of you who are new to me on Instagram, I know I've picked up loads of followers in the last couple of days, particularly because Davina, my lovely friend Davina McCall, has been posting a lot about her amazing documentary on menopause, which is next Wednesday. Okay, put it in your diary, guys. Next Wednesday, Channel 4 at 9 o'clock. It is brilliant. I hope that it gets widely viewed and widely shared. Channel 4, I think, have already said that if they get really good viewing figures, then she can do a follow-up. So let's really, really hope for that. And anyway, so she was posting about it. So I know there are lots of new people who've joined me on Instagram, so you're really welcome here. Positive vibes only, okay? That's the only rule. And I can't share links directly on Instagram, I'm sure you know that. So what I do, if you go to my bio and click on the little blue link tree line of text, that's where we put all our links. But obviously, if all else fails and you want to know about something, go to lizearlewellbeing.com. All the links there to podcasts, videos, articles, recipes, discount codes, all of that. It's all on my mothership, if you like, which is the website. But of course, Facebook, you guys are laughing because you can have all the links direct on the Facebook feed. And similarly with YouTube, we do try and put as many as we can in the little section below underneath the video on YouTube. I hope you're all subscribed to YouTube, by the way. There's some really good new things going up on YouTube. I posted my own little vlog yesterday all about menopause resources, so do please take a look at that, and there are some new recipes as well going up, so I hope you enjoy those. So let us see, without any further ado, if Emma Bridgewater has requested. Yes, so let us, hopefully this will work. I've got kids back at school, so nobody else to share the internet with, so that's always the tricky thing, isn't it, when they're at home and they're using up all the bandwidth. So get off, stop downloading stuff, you know, particularly all the YouTube streaming and videos and things just takes up so much capacity. Okay, so Emma, can I connect you? Yeah, so I've sent you a request No, you should be let in. So let's try, maybe come off and I'll re-invite you, but I'm just going to re-invite you again. Usually works. So I've sent a request and you should be, if you click on it, hopefully, then it should let you in. Are you talking about the competition, Nikki? My goodness, don't miss the competition. Just quickly while we wait for Emma. I hope you are being let in, Emma. If not, you might need to. She's unable to join. I don't know why that would be. Are you joining me on a phone? Because you need to be on a phone. Oh no, what have I done here? I don't want to do that. Let's get rid of that. So, where are we? Yeah, you don't want to be on a laptop or anything like. You have to, or a tablet. You have to be on a phone. So hopefully that might be one of the issues. And then I think maybe just log out and log back in again. That might be the thing to do on Instagram. I will just try you one more time here. And then I am going to, meantime, I'm going to show you the competition because it's really special. So this is the rosy issue, okay? This is the rose petal issue, which has just come out. Hey, Emma! I'll tell you about the competition in a minute because Emma's with us. How are you?
Very good. Sorry about that. Some slight technical hitch.
Don't worry, we have it all the flipping time. Honestly, it's maddening, isn't it? Technology.
Oh, completely. I mean, I'm so hopeless at it, but very exciting to be doing this. Never done it before.
Have you not? Is this your first?
Yes.
Well, a world first exclusive. Welcome. You are so welcome here. I was trying to remember when I came to see you to shoot for the magazine up in Stoke. When was that? Was that about 5 years ago?
I was going to say, I was going to say 3 because I always think things happened more recently, but probably more like 5, yeah.
It's a long time, isn't it? And I'm sure there is nobody here who is not familiar with your amazing pottery. Am I right in saying this was one of your first designs?
Actually, you held up a toast and marmalade mug
Yes,
earlier.
this one.
That's a bit, but that was about 5 years before, way back, 94 or something.
94? Gosh, how long have you been going then? Tell us your story.
Okay, obviously I was at school when I started it.
Completely, you and me both, small children.
Something like, it's now 36 or even 37 years ago.
No.
36. Yeah. I mean, I was quite young. I was 23.
I was going to say, you don't look anywhere near old enough to have been starting a business that long time ago. And at that age, what gave you, if you like, the nerve to think that you could start a pottery business that then became such a global success?
Oh my God, just don't you remember how you knew nothing at 23? And so nothing seems impossible or worrying or a problem. I mean, I don't think I could possibly do it now. It was just that sort of marvellous, crazy... It's not arrogance, it's sort of carefree feeling of being young. I do remember knowing I could do anything.
Yeah.
I couldn't, but I did happen into the right thing came along.
Yeah. But how did it come along though? I mean, what was your connection? Were you living in Stoke? Were you born into a China producing family? What's your backstory?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I grew up in Oxford. My dad, when my parents split, my mum went to Oxford, my dad stayed in Cambridge. It was a long way from Stoke. It was a long way from sort of heavy manufacturing, heavy industry. And there was a day when I was shopping. I thought it's Mum's birthday. Knowing me, it was probably tomorrow. And I had this idea of 2 lovely cups and saucers that would say, we'll sit down, we'll chat. You know I love you. You know I want to be with you in your kitchen. But just right now, I'm running around London like a crazy person, having a lovely time, and I'm not coming home very much. It was sort of, there is something about the way that China that we use. It is about our kind of really strong feelings about our domestic life and our family life. So I was sort of brought up with that instinct in me, and I stood in a china shop and I thought, okay, which ones do I want? None of them. Why is that? And there was nothing there that reflected her kitchen, and as far as I was concerned, her kitchen was absolutely bar none the nicest place in the world. Cozy, welcoming, funny. Oh, you never knew who you'd find there. didn't matter how many people I brought with me.
Nice.
You know, she was one of those people for whom entertaining was a breeze, and she loved people. And so her kitchen was very welcoming. And post-divorce, she didn't have any matching china. And so her kitchen dresser was just a mishmash and a collage of our lives.
Yeah.
And I sort of had a vision in the china shop of the dresser fitting that ought to be in that china shop, and how colourful and jolly and mismatched it would be.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
relaxed and easy. And bingo, there we go, I started a company.
Wow, so it was really wanting to buy nice teacups for your mum that then led, seeing that elusive gap in the market. That's what, brand founders and entrepreneurs
That's
do.
all it is. That's all it is. I mean, I think I've heard other entrepreneurs say this. I was hanging out for an idea. My dad's an entrepreneur. He's a very successful publisher, sold his business while I was at university. And I'd had a fab time working for two girls called Jo Osborne and Sally Muir, who, if I tell you, they designed a jersey that was red, white sheep, one black one, which has been back in the news recently.
Yes.
Because the then lady, Diana Spencer, wore it around the engagement. The whole world wanted one.
Yes.
And they would their marvellous company was probably turning out 100 a week, whereas honestly at that point we could have been selling 500,000 of these jerseys.
Yeah.
It was extraordinary, and I loved that feeling, and I loved their completely insouciant attitude to their business, which was a long way from my dad's very, very suited and booted business. And sort of, I think I had in my head both ways of thinking. I am quite orderly. I'm also keen that life shouldn't feel too heavy.
Yeah. Well, your designs are so joyful, and they just bring so much pleasure, I know, to so many. I have actually got here, I did find it. This, for those who have been following my magazines for a number of years now, this was us. So this was summer 2017. And we came and we did a photo shoot with you. Talking about iconic jerseys, I think you're wearing one from, is that Bella Freud?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's become a little bit of a style statement too, hasn't
jersey.
it?
When I bought that, I felt so happy because I love the 70s. I always get really cross when I hear people talking about the 70s as if they were dark time.
Yeah.
For me, it's just, I look back with such pleasure. So she nailed it for me.
She totally nailed it. And in fact, fun enough, reading through here, this is a great feature for those of you who've got the magazine. I know you can get back issues, and I'll tell you about that in a minute if you want. But we came and we did so many photographs, because tell us about the story of the factory, because you single-handedly, one female founder, have breathed complete new life, haven't you, into the potteries in Stoke-on-Trent. What was the backstory with that?
Oh, well, I mean, I hope that's very nice of you to say that. I really, really wish many more people were trying to do the same thing, because we need more potteries. You know, it's tough, and it's tough in the supply chain. But what happened was after the revelation in the shop, I was asking around, and a slightly more grown-up friend who was a graphic designer. Do you remember how many of them there were around in the 80s?
Yeah, lots.
And he was worldly and clever and sensible. And he said, pottery, of course you don't want to make it yourself. You need to find a factory, and you need to go to a place called Stoke-on-Trent. And I sort of dimly remembered it from geography lessons. And he literally patted his pockets, produced a business card, and I went to take him. He said, no, write his number down because I want to keep the card. So I wrote it on my fag packet at a party. And he said, go and see him, ring him up, make a date, go and see him. I bet you he's a model maker. He'll turn your drawings, if you can do some drawings of the shapes you want, he'll make them real. And so I did the next morning, ring this man, and I pitched up there a few days later, got a taxi from the station, went to a particularly, I now know to be a notoriously wicked part of the city, with my eyes on stalks, because there were two things in my head, and in a way it's never really stopped. A feeling of fury at the mess the industry had made, and I then opened my eyes to the Midlands and the post-industrial kind of carnage that we left behind. You know, people made a lot of money there and then just left their litter all over the streets. there was that feeling of how can somewhere have been so badly looked after? How can these people be living like this? And look at these names of Spode and Minton and all the sort of greats.
Iconic.
As I saw all the empty factories on my cab ride, and this, what was coming at me was the immense friendliness of the place. You know, I've never known a better humoured city. It's the most lovely, lovely, lovely people.
Really?
And the tradition was still there, you know, the skills. And so for me, I looked at the clothes factories and I was very charmed by, you know, from the taxi driver onwards. It's thrilling. And everyone else was running away from it. And I ran towards it thinking, save this. This is amazing. Yeah. And I worked in that little backstreet pottery for about 5 years. And in due course, his business, as I think it had previously several times, went under, and it was a little mini version of that. And what we bought in due course was, and I did have 2 partners by then, what we bought was a big Victorian factory, because it was cheaper than buying a big shed. Hallelujah.
Well, I've been there, and I know lots of my followers here have been up, because you have open days, don't you? You have the most beautiful cafe.
Not at the moment.
Well, not at the moment. Are you going to be able to start again? Because they're so special.
Well, we absolutely. I mean, obviously the cafe and the shops will be open. I mean, are open.
Yeah.
But what we're waiting on is the factory tours, which in a way are my favourite thing, because I love
that. I love a good factory tour, behind the scenes. And what I was amazed by when you look at this lovely dot here is that every one of these dots is hand dabbed by.
Liz, could you do? I mean, this is marvellous. I think. I really, really like your line on this.
I just love it.
I'm so used to it. But I know that the best thing of all of the tour is when people walk into the sponge decoration workshop. But actually, you can't even see everyone. There are, I think now more. I think 75 or more.
Yeah, look at these lovely ladies. 75. People
ladies just doing the sponging.
Just doing the sponging. I mean, what an amazing local employer, and the atmosphere was so great. And you know, funnily enough, I put on my Instagram this morning a picture to do with UK Garden Day, which is happening on Sunday, and this was a throwback from last year. And I noticed that Arthur Parkinson has got a picture on his Instagram of wearing this amazing, you know, floral crown, and I met him when he was working with you. Look, there's a picture of us with your lovely chickens.
Well, do you remember how fantastic he made the garden?
Oh,
I mean, he was completely blissful, and the garden is still lovely. But without Arthur, the bulb order has gone down by about 90%, because the accounts department were kind of completely bamboozled.
So many bulbs. Well, of course, he used to work with Sarah Raven, didn't he? So
he does now.
He's there now, is he, at Perch Hill? Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So yeah, the bulbs, I'm sure, are absolutely spot on if they're coming from Sarah.
Well, exactly, but we have economised very slightly on the bulb order these days, because nobody spends it like him. I mean, he was the most wonderful influence. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's so clever. And do you still have chickens?
No, we don't at the moment.
Oh, he took his chickens.
Exactly, he organised. I mean, the chickens often came from us in Oxfordshire or in Norfolk.
Okay. Because you have a lot of botanical and natural, and I'm just looking here. Obviously, we've got a rosy theme at the moment, and absolutely love this. I don't know whether this is a new design or a classic.
It's a couple of years old and doing very nicely, thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's a reprise of something I did. I mean, it's a sort of reworking of something I did right at the beginning, back in '85.
And do you still design? Do you still get your paintbrush out and your sketch pad?
I do, but much more fun than that. I've got a really fantastic studio, and for years, I mean, sadly Matthew and I have parted.
Right.
But it's got a good consequence for the business in that the studio kind of followed us around the country. We went to live in Norfolk for a long time, which was completely gorgeous, but quite impractical in some ways. And when we moved to Oxfordshire, the studio came with us, and it is now back in London alongside the office. Right. So what's happening now is this very, very nice thing of we're bringing on young designers.
Great.
I brief them I write a brief twice a year, a sort of manifesto of what we're going to be thinking about this time next year, and what's going to be exciting. And we're kind of being able to work much more closely with marketing because by virtue of being there, there's this very nice feeling of getting ever closer to the customers, really. For it to sort of, do you remember how the shops always used to have stuff in that you didn't really want? It was like they'd try and sell you your winter coat in July.
Yeah, always the wrong season. Yeah, maddening.
Yeah, it seems to me that's all gone now. And it's all sort of very much more in the moment. And I personally really like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening to us increasingly is what I am really keen on is that what we're talking about and what we show you is timely.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, our best thing sort of earlier in the spring was a sponge-wear dandelion pattern because I felt
nice. Dandelions, cute.
And we've got some lovely poppies just launched. I mean, it's going very well. It's been a very busy year.
And are these kind of limited editions? Do people have to grab them when they come out, or do you then find that some are so popular they become classics and you keep them in the collection?
It's they're definitely not limited editions, but they're also definitely gone when they're gone.
Right.
We don't sort of. If we revisit a pattern, we'll recolour it, we'll slightly, we'll change it, but we really don't tend to go back, and that's because we've got lots of new ideas. And what happened sort of in our wake was this brilliant and absolute. I mean, peeping in on it on eBay is utterly thrilling. The secondary market is fabulous.
There's a lot of collectors, I know. Yeah.
And so we don't number the editions or anything like that. And I started the business with no capital. We have had an investor recently, and that's great. But by and large, I believe in the sustainable is such an overused word that a sort of organic is a better description of how we want the business to be now. So we don't because we make the stock ourselves in our factory. We have to predict very carefully, and we've got a really fantastic guy doing that. He's a genius. So that we're trying to make the right amount that's on, so it's in our warehouse on exactly the right day. And we can scrabble around and stop making polka dots and add some more when it's a huge success, but only to some extent. Now we are expanding a lot at the moment. We're expanding our manufacturing, we're expanding our warehouse.
Within Stoke?
Yes.
Amazing.
But in retail, normally people just switch on the stock. If you go to a hot seller, you just ring the factory and, this is sort of before COVID, ring the factory somewhere in the Far East and you say, send us another container. We can't do that. We can turn around, we can sort of add to something that's really going well. But we tend to need to move on to the next thing. The factory has got a program, but we are gently making the factory bigger.
That is so amazing. Talk us through, before you go, the actual process of making a mug, because as you have just said there, so much stuff comes in really cheap from China, and it's not benefiting the British economy at all. What you are doing, the jobs that you are creating, the skills that you are training, the love, the care, the handmade nature of everything. I mean, if you're making a mug, like this, or one of your polka dots, what's the actual process of it? Do you literally start with a lump of clay?
Yes, the clay comes in and we stir it up in big vats. You plunge it to make it into a nice sort of single cream consistency. Right. And then we pipe that into the casting department, where in a way that's absolutely characteristic of Staffordshire. What somebody said going around the factory is if Josiah Wedgwood were to be reborn, walking around the factory, he'd recognise every single aspect of it. I think he'd probably be saying, couldn't you do this a bit more efficiently?
Really, so really traditional, handmade.
It's really traditional. It's lots and lots and lots of casting benches all the way down a very, very, very long room.
Amazing to think of that.
And a lot of men and some women doing the casting. Yeah. And then the pieces are finished and fettled. And then if they're going to be sponged, they're soft fired. They're not fully fired. And then I think to me the most then the decorating happens, and as you say, every single spot, every rose, every leaf is put on separately.
By hand. I mean, that is just extraordinary. I love that word fettled. What does that mean, fettled? And is it like being in fine fettle?
Yeah, exactly that.
What does it mean?
Just making sure that when the mug comes out of the mould, in which it is cast, it'll have some seams, and it's just with the teapots and the jugs, they'll sort of polish away at the lip of the jug or the spout of the teapot to make it pour as well as it possibly can.
Okay.
Sort of sharpen it a bit. They just sort of smooth and neaten it and put it in fine fettle, just as you say.
In fine fettle. Excellent. Every time I hear that now, or I use that expression, I should be thinking of you and everybody up in Stoke doing that. And how has it been for you this past year? How have you managed through COVID?
Well, it was a dramatic start for us, like for everybody else, into the unknown. And we were 50-50 wholesale retail. Most of that disappeared overnight. Some of it has come back. People who are savvy to web trading, we sell to some of them. But because we've had a transactional website since they began. And so it's sort of part of our DNA, and we are good at it. And really, thank heavens, the timing was such that the warehouse was groaning. We had last year's spring-summer stock ready.
Oh, good. Yeah.
The factory had to close for some weeks because the clay supplier closed.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But we persuaded him to get back up and running with a skeleton staff a few weeks later.
Yeah.
And we battled on through. And because of people being at home, I suppose, we were one of the brands that were sort of in their sideline. It was.
You just want a lovely mug. I'm standing here. I'm just drinking hot water actually at the moment because I got a bit of a cough, and it's just so comforting and soothing. And I think your things are just the right shape. This mug, you can just fit two hands around it.
It is the one you want to hold, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a comforting thing to do. I must actually show this picture that we took, and it's because I'm standing here in my farmhouse kitchen, so I've got the Aga behind me. And I don't know whether you still do these or whether this was just something that you did as a fun thing, that you did polka dot Aga tops.
Okay.
Isn't that fun?
Aren't they great? I have a nasty feeling that Aga isn't made in Telford anymore, but they were at that time. And
Okay.
We did it. Their marketing department asked us to do a picture of Aga. And most people, so the other things that were requested were photoshopped, whereas it never occurred to me to Photoshop it. We went into this big project, which we loved, but it has to be said that the Aga men at Telford were slightly appalled at us splodging all over their beautiful enamel.
Polka dot Aga, just classic.
And do you know what? They took orders, and I think we had to go down and do the sponging. They were so terrified of it. But I think there were something like 5 in existence. So they talk about special edition. That
is, wow. If you've got a Emma Bridgewater polka dot Aga, then that is collectors. It's going to end up as a museum piece. It'll probably be one of those classic things in the V&A, won't it?
Well, that would be nice.
Just love it. And so what's now moving forward? Please God, let's hope that, final lockdown, everything coming back to life, your suppliers are all, back online, everybody is hopefully, back to work. What are your plans now for the rest of this year?
Oh, lots and lots of lovely new designs, amazing things coming for autumn, winter.
Really?
We had a catalogue meeting yesterday. It looks really exciting, really good. When contact is easier, because obviously our main ambition is to keep the infection out of the factory, so we're all being very careful. But when contact is possible, I have all kinds of plans for lots of new product, sort of beyond where we are now. I really want to look at some hand throwing and possibly some bone china. I feel that
nice.
There's huge scope, because in my kitchen I mix things like my designs with old things and with other people's. I love that whole eclectic mix. It's got so much character, isn't it? It brings so much personality to your kitchen. That's exactly. I think that's what it's all about. Is that when you organise the china on your dresser, you're sort of making a big statement about yourself and your family, because it isn't just china. inevitably for me, it's sort of current letters and invitations and important
Yeah,
keys.
photos and
the whole
notes.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And just before we go, I really loved your Strong Women mug. You did that, I think, for International Women's Day, was it? I don't know if I've
Yes.
got it here or if my daughter's taken it back to uni. Let me just see. Oh no, I've got it here. I've got it here. Here we go. Tell us about this. Is this still available? It says "Stand up for your sisters."
I think with that
Have you
one,
sold out?
we sold
I love
out,
it.
just like that.
Yeah, I bet.
But we will do more. I think
Great.
we'll probably keep it going because it feels really important.
It
to
is
me.
the sisterhood, isn't it? It says here the Association of Strong Women, and it says around the top, what I love is the way that you put your writing around the rim. It says, "May we know them, raise them, be them." I mean...
Well, you can't get fairer than that, can you?
I mean, who comes up with this stuff? That is just epic.
Well...
Is that a team effort? I mean, may you know them, raise them, be them. It says it all.
We've got fantastic marketing. The head of marketing, she is brilliant, and I often bounce ideas off her.
That.
I think that was her.
Yeah.
But so we sort of, you know what? I think when things are on a roll, the zeitgeist is kind of where you live. There's a really fascinating kind of energy, and I have known in my, it's a long period I've been working. It doesn't keep firing all the time. There are times when you sort of go into some kind of classic sort of slumber when you're still doing lovely things, but you're not in the moment. And
I do know that feeling.
Yeah, and at the moment, I absolutely know that as a team, we've got a real sort of sense of excitement and conviction, and that's a lovely feeling. It's really lovely.
So great. We're going to have to end it here, Emma. I could just spend hours talking. I hope I can get to come up to Stoke again when everything is open. It would be so nice. It seems like it's been way, way too long. Thank you so much for being here. I'm thrilled that we've been your first ever Instagram Live. I hope the experience wasn't too terrifying and that you can do more.
It was lovely. Thank you for inviting me. It's a heaven talking to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Now you have to click end, because if I click it then I cut everybody off and that wouldn't be so good. So I think there's a little square somewhere that just says to leave. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Thanks again. Well, while Emma works out how to leave the Instagram Live, just to say massive thanks to Emma and her team. We have a very special discount. Liz Loves, as I said before, it's a one-time only. So if you want to go and look at her website, don't waste it. Just decide what you want to get. Make a little list, because it's one per customer, 15% off any of the full price items. And I just love it. Actually, I was just looking through my cupboard, and if you bear with me for one sec, realising, all the things actually that I have over the years. I think I've had this teapot, I don't know, 25 years maybe. They are just absolutely classic. And if you do get the chance to go up to Stoke, it is amazing. It is, as Emma said, it was a derelict Victorian factory. And you've got, as you drive around, you've got all the heritage there, as she said, Minton and what was it, Wedgwood, and all the great classic names. And then you come across this huge, vibrant building and space, and it's just so beautifully done. It's such a pleasure, and the fact that she's employing so many local people from the area and all those skills and the atmosphere, it's just so good. So I'm delighted to hear. I think there was a question on my Instagram earlier about, was this one coming back? Stand up for your sisters. Oh my goodness, isn't this great? I think I'm going to have to buy one when they come back in for both my girls. Absolutely love it. And yes, all those little dots, hand applied, each one. There's no transfers. It's not, cheap, printing over in China or whatever. Just great. Yeah, you got them from a wedding present. Was it black toast? 25 years ago. Lots of wedding presents. Yeah, great. So classic. I give them now, actually. I give them as presents for girlfriends or, engagement, wedding presents, a pair of mugs or, a lovely classic thing like a beautiful teapot. just great. Can't go wrong, I don't think. So just to say, by the way, I've just had a thought that this issue, I don't know how many of you have got it. You're doing well if you have got it, because this is summer 2017. So what's that? 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, 4 years ago. And if you want to read the feature, then it's there. We've also, I think, got it online. If you want to go and have a look at the Earle Wellbeing website. It was In Conversation with Emma Bridgewater. That's on page 100. But don't forget that all the back issues, well, not all of them, but most of them, certainly I think the last 4 years worth, are on Readly. So Readly is the digital magazine app, and I absolutely love it. I think we can pop a link, maybe Martha or Lainey on Facebook. There'll be a link on the Earle Wellbeing website as well. If you click that, I think our link gives you a free month. I'm not sure, but I know that it used to. And basically you pay a monthly subscription, and then you can read virtually any magazine in the world. So, you know, you can sit and you can flick through Vogue or Good Housekeeping or, you know, Elle or all the home decor magazines or, you know, whatever, craft magazines, gardening magazines, all of them, sports magazines. I know my boys like looking at sports stuff. And you just pay your monthly subscription, and Earle Wellbeing is on Readly. So you should, all being well, if you want to see that archive copy, be able to find it on the Readly website, or the Readly app rather. And really excitingly, they've also got my yearbook too. So they don't normally do books, but they've put up the Earle Wellbeing yearbook 1, rather not yearbook 2, yearbook 1, because yearbook 1 is out of print. So alas, that's gone. You might be able to find copies on eBay. I don't know, Emma talking about that. But you will be able to get the digital version on Readly. And it's, you know, once you've got the app, then and you've subscribed, it's free. You can just flick through as much as you like. So it's a really good thing to do. Right, other really good things to do before I leave you, just to say a bit of news. I've talked quite a lot about Instep in the past, the fitness. They have arrived, finally. I think they were on a slow boat from China or somewhere. Anyway, so Julie, the lovely Julie Ford, who created these, she does now have them. I think they were coming in today. So she's working her socks off to get them out and dispatched. So I think she's got about 300 orders that she's sending out, and she's got another 100 or so ready to go. So if you want yours, please grab it, because the next shipment is another 6 weeks away. So if you want it, go to Instep, and we'll pop a link on the Instagram link tree, or I know that you can pop a link, hopefully Martha, on Facebook. And you get 11% off with Liz Loves, okay? And once you've got them, I mean, these are great for walking, for any kind of home workout. They're so simple, they're so safe, they're so effective. I mean, I am reasonably fit, and I can do a really intense workout with this. But also, you know, my mum in her early 80s can also do this. And we now have classes on Saturday mornings. So once you've got your Instep, you get a code to join by Zoom every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. And apologies for not making it last week. My day went a bit Pete Tong, as they say, so I couldn't, but I am fully intending to be in class tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I really enjoy it. So anyway, that was a quick alert if you've been waiting for that to come back into stock. Other alerts, just to say, is that there is a brand new balm on Dr. Lip. Now, Dr. Lip, I've talked about before. I've interviewed the founder here, female founder. And we know them for their amazing lip products. I don't know if you remember, but they have, this is the CBD oil with lanolin, the purified lanolin. And I love these, multi-purpose balm. I really love them. And this one I particularly like. This is their lip balm. We have 15% off, by the way, with Liz Loves. But this is just a little bit of a sheer tint. Do you see that? So it conditions your lips. Keeps them really soft, while just giving a little bit of moisture and a little bit of colour. So on Wednesday, we were talking about eczema, those of you who were with me, and I was interviewing the CEO of a great company called Curapella, who have this product called Pelamex for eczema, irritated skin, and we were talking all about filigrean and helping to repair the barrier that keeps the moisture in the skin and keeps irritants out of the skin. So I just wanted to update you that this is their brand new Dr. Lip. For those of you with really sensitive eczema-prone skin, they have made a whole balm. So a whole balm. So moving on just from the little lippies here to a balm that just contains 2 ingredients. I love it because my skin, I do get the odd little flaky patch of flare up. You know, I am atopic, unfortunately. I do have a tendency to eczema, which is why I've always got to be really careful with what I put on my skin. But this it's obviously much bigger than the little tubes. And if I show you, it's literally just purified lanolin and coconut oil. That's it. So really simple, really effective. If you've got any dry, flaky patches, you know, I sometimes get a little patch just here. I pop it on at night. Hard-working hands, maybe you're being out in the garden, the allotment a bit more now, you know, now that weather's coming up and we're doing a bit more. Really good. I like using it overnight. My hands and particularly my forefingers tend to get really dry and chapped. Elbows, heels, anywhere that needs a little bit of TLC. So I love this. It was a bit delayed because, you know, COVID and everything delayed everything. But it is now up on their website. So I just wanted to give them a big shout out because I think it's a great British brand and we've got 15% off with our Liz Loves code. So if you want to stock up on Dr. Lip or try that, particularly if you've got really dry areas that just need a bit of soothing with something gently emollient, then that would be a very good thing. And of course, if you want to try the Pelamex, then we also have, let me just double check the discount on that, because there is also, Pelamex is, where are we? Don't reload when I want you up here on my screen. Right, Pelamex, 15% off, okay? And that's on the Curapel, I think it's curapel.com website. Let me just check that. It's always tricky when people have 2 brand names. Curapella, that's right, Curapella. I remember that because Pella is Italian for skin. So Curapella, like kind of, you know, healing the skin. Curapella.com, and that is 15% off, and that is until the end of July. So it'd be really interesting. So where are you saying, Layla? Which was the hand cream you used with SPF or vitamin C for age spots? That's Beauty Pie. So Beauty Pie, I've got some great vitamin C skincare. They've got great serums. I use that on my hands. I actually use their serum, the vitamin C serum, on the backs of my hands. So it's very brightening. So it's very good at helping to fade sunspots. Obviously use sunscreen on the backs of your hands, particularly now. But if you want to try Beauty Pie, if you're not yet a member of Beauty Pie, it's a brilliant service. I've talked about it lots. Use Liz Loves on Beauty Pie when you sign up because that gets you a free month. So it's a really good saving. And then once you're a member, you can buy everything at cost. So it's really good. Really enjoy it. I might do a whole maybe I'll do a Makeup Monday or something using Beauty Pie because they've got lots of lovely new things actually coming in. Thank you. I'm glad you like the dress. So just in case you missed it at the beginning, this is a Spiga. So this is an ethical fashion brand. Lucy McNamara, very old friend of mine, she started it, and she started it actually with beaded sandals from Kenya. And I've got connections, I've got family in Kenya, and dying to get back to Kenya. I have to say it's just all been, you know, really rubbish. Haven't been for well over a year. But anyway, so I used to bring sandals and belts back for her in my suitcase. And now, of course, she's got this, you know, big, well, not big, but, you know, bigger company. Really lovely ethical fashion brand working in East Africa, working in India as well, paying real women, proper wages, everything beautifully made, using lovely sustainable fabrics and materials like bamboo and viscose that comes from trees, tree pulp. So she's just got some great designs. And I have to say, this is a favourite. And if you use Liz Loves, then we get free P&P, which is really nice. So thank you very much, Lucy. Hope you are having a lovely week. Haven't seen you for such a long time. It'd be nice to catch up in real life at some point. So just before I go, more roses. Yes, lots of you loving this mug. This is the one that Emma was saying. And yeah, just amazing, isn't it, to think that it is all hand applied. That's the thing. These are not just printed. They are beautiful. Lovely shape. Have another slurp of that. Talking of wild roses, so yeah, the wild rose jewellery. So I've got my little wild rose earrings in. You can see these, love these. These are my rose gold ones, I think, roses in rose gold. And they are all 25% off on the Liz Earle Jewellery website. If you've got your magazine, you can see. You don't need a code, just head over to Liz Earle Jewellery and you can find all of that. By the way, lots of you asking about the dress on the front of the cover. That is another great British ethical fashion brand called Beulah, and as worn by the Duchess of Cambridge, and you know, it's a real top fashion brand. And they had a terrible time last year because obviously all the big parties and events and Ascot and all those things were, you know, weddings where people were buying beautiful dresses. Usually that's their market, their audience, all completely cancelled. But they are back, and they've got a lovely shop in Elizabeth Street in London if you are passing by. And they lent me one of their dresses for the shoot. Sadly, it's not mine, but I wore it for the shoot and I do love it. So before I go, lots of chat here about eczema around the eyes. I have written a little book on eczema, dry skin and eczema, because it's something that I get, my kids get it. So it's on Amazon. It's a little download, $1.99, packed with information. Please take a look at that. But you know, if you're looking at eczema anywhere on the body, then the Pelamex is going to help. And I hope you had a chance to listen to the science behind replenishing the filigrin with the really special amino acids there. So, and that's all this is, the food supplement. But it's clinically proven. They've done the research that came out of research department at Manchester, the dermatology department there. So I do highly recommend it, actually. I've known these guys, these researchers, for a long time. And it is the real thing. So yeah, if you want to try that, then it will, wherever you've got a little patch of eczema, then it should really help you. Oh, that's interesting about matcha. Tara, is it true the benefits of matcha stop working when combined with cow's milk? No, I actually looked into that, and it's to do with the polyphenols in matcha. And there were some studies to show that maybe the polyphenols were reduced when combined with dairy products, but then there were other studies to show that they were actually improved. So you can take your pick. I think either way the difference is only marginal. So no, I think that, you know, the matcha is so rich in polyphenols and just has so many benefits. It's a really interesting leaf. I hope you saw. Don't take any notice of Philip Schofield's face. Okay, if you Google, you know, Philip Schofield matcha tea, then you'll see all sorts of dreadful faces that he pulled when I made it for him. But in my defence, he didn't, or in the studio, because I couldn't see what was happening in the studio because my monitor broke here, so I was kind of really, literally operating in the dark. I could only hear what was going on. I couldn't see it. They didn't make it properly. No, so you have to make it my way and then it would taste delicious. There's a whole feature on matcha on Liz Earle Wellbeing if you want to go and have a look, if you want to find out about it. I put a link to one of the matcha teas that I really like, but you know, you can buy any. And there's also a little tutorial on YouTube where I show you how to make it. So Phil, if you're watching me today, which I doubt, because I know you've come off air, haven't you? Then yeah, just go to the Liz Earle Wellbeing YouTube channel to see how to make it properly, and it tastes delicious. And I really like it. Two of the reasons why I like it, apart from it tasting good when you make it properly, is it's got a little bit of caffeine. Okay, little bit matcha tea. So it gives you that little lift, but not too much. Doesn't make you all jangly and jittery like, you know, strong tea or coffee can do. But it also contains this amino acid called L-theanine. And it's the L-theanine which has this incredibly calming effect. So it just helps take the edge off. Okay, so if you need the edge taken off, and believe me, there are days, aren't there, when we could do with losing the edge. Lots of chat on menopause, obviously, on YouTube. Yes, take a listen to the YouTube vlog that I posted yesterday. Kat on YouTube, you say, thank you so much for all posting these, guys, giving us this information. Never realised all the misunderstandings with the menopause. I'm starting and all the advice is much needed. Paulette says on email just this morning, a friend, armed with your and Louise's information, told her doctor that she would not be taking antidepressants and really didn't want a blood test as what she needs is HRT. She would not have got this without Liz and Louise's amazing information. Well, that is just such a success story, isn't it? It's so good. You just need to know the evidence-based information and stand your ground. And I think, you know, if we can stand solidly with you, here you go, the Association of Strong Women, that's what I need to do. I need to get Emma Bridgewater to make a sisterhood, an HRT sisterhood mug. How about that? Should we have a menopause mug? It's an idea. Emma, if you're still watching, make a note. This one here, Maria, also on email, saying, after listening to Liz and other professional, passionate women, I spoke to my GP with fresh resolve and started taking HRT. I slept better immediately. I feel so much better and positive. Of course, I now share this with my friends and family. Thank you very much, Marie. That is what it's all about. It's about sharing the good stuff, empowering proper evidence-based information. And slowly, I think the tide is turning. As I say, if you didn't hear me say earlier, please make a note in your diaries. Wednesday, 9 p.m, Channel 4, Davina's groundbreaking landmark documentary. And as I say, if we can get really good viewing figures for that, then Channel 4 have said that they will follow up with more. And I just think it will reach a lot of people who haven't heard any of this. You know, sometimes we are a bit of an echo chamber, aren't we? You know, we know what we're saying, we know what we talk about here, but if you haven't been exposed to it, it's literally life-changing. Something else just for the weekend, very quickly, that I will leave you with. You may have seen, and certainly if you are subscribed to the Earle Wellbeing newsletter, you'll be seeing this later on. Sneaky peek again here. This is my special collaboration with Mighty Brew. It is an organic rose and raspberry, twice fermented kombucha, traditional kombucha. It's in a really heavy champagne bottle, so it feels like real celebration. Comes with a proper gold foiled stopper and the little kind of dimpled bottle here. It is absolutely delicious. It's quite limited, so it's already been selling really quickly. Go over to the Mighty Brew website. I think it's mightybrew.com. Let me just check on that. And you still get the Liz Loves discount, even though it's a brand new product and a new collaboration. So everything on their website, yeah, they are mightybrew.com. And honestly, my kids love it. I love drinking it. I've got a little glass going here for a Happy Friday. Oh my goodness, they are the real deal. I'll bring you some pictures next time we chat, perhaps, of what it looks like in their little warehouse where they make it, because I've got my SCOBY here. I don't know whether you've seen this in the back. This is my kombucha that's on the go. So I've got my SCOBY on the top. Need to split him out actually, because he's got other ones underneath. Oh, Molly, you've ordered yours, have you? Brilliant. I can't wait for it to arrive. Let me know. Post a picture. And of course they're making it in 3,000 litre vats. So they've got huge, literally SCOBYs wider than my arm span. But they make it traditionally in exactly the same way. And unlike so many others who are making kombuchas, they don't add the extracts just to flavour it. They're actually using real organic rosebuds and real organic raspberries. I mean, they're just a delight to work with, and I'm really happy to collaborate with them. They are based on a farm in Hampshire, and yeah, I've actually put my name on the bottle. It's an organically produced farm drink, and it's got so much good beneficial bacteria. So if you want something really special to celebrate the summer, I don't know how long we'll have it for, but it's certainly a limited edition for the summer for now, and then, you know, we'll see how it goes. But it's Dr. Lip. Now the Liz Loves code shouldn't have expired. Let's check on that. So let me have a look here. Dr. Lip. Try again in a little while. I will get my team looking at that, because as far as we were aware, it was ongoing. So it should be Liz Loves, yeah, all one word, 15% off. So yeah, Martha, Laney, if you're watching that, perhaps you can just try it on the website and ping the guys at Dr. Lip a quick email about it just to check, because it should definitely be working. That is it. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm hoping next week to be coming from somewhere a little bit different. I better not say where, because it hasn't all been firmed up yet. That's my plan for this afternoon, to get some proper confirmation. But I'm really hoping that we're going to be able to go out, because we do have some work to do for the magazine on location, and I just thought it would be fun if we can to try and do some lives and lots of Instagram posts and things, just to get out and to bring you new things. Just to say also, big thank you to my friends at Microbes. You are loving this, by the way. This was due to expire tonight. There's a 20% discount on Microbes, this amazing probiotic liquid. Had mine this morning, love it. And they've actually extended it to midnight on Monday, so we've got the weekend as well. And I was looking at it because I do like these liquid supplements for probiotic health, for repopulating the gut. Just a small amount, just like a tablespoon, either on its own or in water in the morning, that's all. And my youngest, actually, we've been taking Simprove. So this was recommended by a nutritional therapist for him. And I do like Simprove, and I've taken it before in the past. You can see that bottle's come to the end. It is expensive, and it only has 4 families of beneficial bacteria. Now it's clinically tested, so that is a really good thing, but it has the 4 beneficial families in there. When you look at Microbes, which is made in Somerset on a British family farm, not far away from me, this has 15 families. Okay, 15 families of beneficial bacteria, plus it has interesting juices and herbs and other things. So just tiny traces, because that's all we need when we're talking about these microscopic microbes. You don't need huge amounts, you just need little bits. And so I really, really like this, and I was really impressed. Even more so when I saw that it had the 15 families in it. So we do just at the moment have 20% off. As of midnight on Monday, I think they're going to have to reduce it back down to 10%. So we still get a bit of a discount. So if you're watching this in catch up, you know, it's still worth having. But if you really want to try it or stock up because you're loving it, or any of the other things obviously on their website, Microbes with a Z, micro, and then BZ, Microbes. And I shall certainly be stocking up. Right, that is it. So I hope you're on the list to get the newsletter. Go to lizearlewellbeing.com, sign up for that if you like. Amy will be pressing the button at about 1 minute to 4 this afternoon. So check your emails, check your spam folders, in case it ends up in spam or junk. And I've also this afternoon got a new Friday 5 podcast with one of my favourite medics, Dr. Asim Malhotra, amazing cardiologist. And we are talking about the immune system and more. So, and I have to say, good old Asim, he does not pull any punches, that man. He says it very straight how it is. So I hope you enjoy that. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the UK Garden Day if you're tuning in, if you're watching that across Facebook maybe, or Instagram. I know there'll be lots of lovely floral pictures flooding our little digital screens, which will be nice to see. And hopefully we'll all get out and see some real flowers and some real greenery as well. Anyway, have a lovely weekend. It's great to be with you. I'll see you Monday. Bye.